Brody from Everything Board Games. Tasty Minstrel Games sent me The Flow of History. So let's get it to the table. The Flow of History is a civilization card game that uses bidding, take that, and a mechanic where you grow your 7 different types of production to become stronger and stronger till the internet and the future cards show up. Each player starts with a random starter card, a player marker, a reference card, and 4 resource tokens. I might refer to them as money again during this video. All cards are placed in a deck so that you can start with the age 1 cards, and as you grow your civilization, the cards get better and better, causing your civilizations to get better and better. Something that is hard to understand in this game is the difference between the supply and the reserve for where you place the money tokens. So each player will start with 4 each, and the rest is added to the reserve. These cards out here that have an A on them are all the starting cards. And once one of the cards is taken, then the top card from the stack is added to its place. Whenever you place a card out that comes from a new age, you will check all the available cards to see if any of them are 2 ages old. And if they are, they will be discarded. The cards actually help by these icons shown in the top right of the card. Let me explain to you what your turn might be like. So you will perform 1 action on your turn, and they are all listed on this reference card to help you so you know your options. So you can invest in a card, and you do this by choosing which card out here that you want and place your player marker on top of it. You will add how much money underneath it that you'd like to invest in it. Now each player will have a chance to snipe that card from you, so make sure you place enough money on it to more fully secure that card for you. So to snipe the card, you will look at and see how much money is underneath that card, and you will pay that same amount to the player that invested in it. You'll take that card and you'll place the money that was underneath it and put it in the supply. Remember, the supply is over here and not the reserve. The player that initially invested in the card will count how many trade icons that they have in their civilization. These are the icons that show a handshake. This player started with a card that gave him one of these icons, and so he will take 1 more money from the supply plus half of what's left rounded down. So he will receive 1 more. As you can see, if you snipe, you get the card that you want, but you also give the investor a lot more money. Players can try to gain more trade icons in hopes that they get more money if others snipe their cards. If no one decides to snipe your card, when it comes back to your turn, you can complete your investment by moving the money to the supply and taking your new card. Cards are placed in front of you by colors. I have randomly taken out some cards from the deck to show you how these will be placed. The blue, green, red, and orange cards will be placed like this so you can only see the bottom of the older cards. The other benefits listed on the card are only active when the card is on top of the pile. So this card under here will actually not give you the benefit anymore, but will only give you the added icons on the bottom. These icons on the bottom helps your civilization grow, but the top card will give you the better benefit, but it might just be temporary. The yellow cards are the leaders, and you're only allowed to have 1 leader at a time. A new leader will replace your old leader. The black cards are wonders and are not stacked like the others. You will also always get the icons from the side of these cards from when you get it. These black cards are wonder cards and are ways for in-game scoring points and can help you form a strategy when you're playing the game. When you gain a card, you will always check to see what effect it has. These are also listed on your reference card. So the exclamation point icon is an instant action effect, and it takes place when you gain that card. 1 axe is an attack effect, and you'll be able to attack 1 player whose military strength is weaker than your attack strength. You add your attack strength up by counting the number of icons with a spear and axe icon on it, and the defense strength is the number of spear and axe icons plus the number of shield icons on it. Some cards have this icon, which allows you to attack every player who has military strength weaker than you. This will also obey the rules of adding up your icons, as I mentioned, with a single attack. The cards with an affinity symbol are permanent benefits that are used as long as the card is on top of your stack. The turn wheel icon lets you activate this ability. You will simply do what it says, and this will be your turn instead of investing, sniping, or completing an investment. The icons on the cards are hard to follow when first playing the game, but there is a card glossary in the rule book which I found to be very helpful. After playing the game a handful of times, you will understand what the icons mean and what the cards do, and and will help you shorten the playing time and also help you with your strategy. Now, to go back to what actions that you can do during your turn, you can also harvest. Harvesting is a way to gain money, and if you don't have any or want more, you will count how many harvest icons you have on all your cards in your civilization, and you will take that much money from the reserve. Now, this is the one time you will take from the reserve instead of the supply. After taking those, you will then also get half of the money that's in the supply. And if your new amount of money is less than the current age, then you will take more money from the supply until you have the same amount of money as the age in the game. If you run out of money that is in the supply when doing this, then you will take from the reserve. Whenever the future card is added to the market or is gained by a player, then the game ends after the current player's turn. Players will count each culture icon, which are these harps, and each one is worth 1 point. Then they will count all their production icons. Every 2 icons is worth a point. And lastly, they will add up their points scored by wonders. All these points are added together, and whoever has the most points wins. Now let me start with the things I really liked about this game. First of all, being a card game and in such a small box, it packs a big punch and is very strategic. Now, the strategy part is only true when you're familiar with the cards and you can plan out what actions and what things you want to do, but I love that this game does that. Also, for a Civilization card game, let me add, I love Civ games. It's very short and small and compact, so you aren't playing a 4-hour game. I really like that when playing, if you really want a card, investing in it might not be the best move. But maybe you need to wait until someone else invests in it and then you can snipe it from them, guaranteeing that you get that card. That way you will get it for sure. I like how you might invest in a card that you know someone else might want, and in return, you will get paid big money for doing that. I like how the game uses the supply and the reserve piles for money. As time goes by, the money will slowly grow, and you will have more and more come into circulation. Each time someone does a harvest action is very smart. I like how the game builds on itself, and the new cards seem to be exciting each and every time that you flip the new one over. Something that I'm not a huge fan of is there is a lot of take that in this game, which I don't really like when playing. I'm usually not a fan of take that, but in this game, it almost actually works well, and you can protect yourself from attack by building up your defense. And in fact, I would encourage you to make sure that your military is decent, or you'll be losing tons of cards at the end of the game and players will be attacking you. And again, the icons and the understanding what each card was and what they did was hard to grasp for the first couple times, and we had to read the card glossary almost every new card that came out. The game is really a 3 to 5 player game. They did include a 2-player variant, and I haven't played that variant yet, but it is recommended for advanced players. But I do know that the game shines at that 3 to 5 player mark. Again, this is Flow of History by Tasty Minstrel Games. If you like what you see, then go buy it.